En lustigt inlägg ifrån Biohazard där. Vi ska väl titta på en hel video vad det lider också. De har gått härifrån, de har gjort sig redo för att spela en konsert ikväll i Stockholm på Melody. Och istället har Neil Gaiman satt sig här. How you doing, Neil?
Very well.
Good to see you. Welcome to Stockholm.
Thank you very much.
How's it been so far?
It's been very, very hectic. I've been sitting in a hotel room doing interviews with journalist after journalist, and then on my lunch hour I dashed off and found Tori Amos, who'd just come into town.
Oh, yeah?
And she's a very, very good old friend of mine, and we haven't actually seen each other in 2 years.
Right. Well, where's that accent from?
This accent, this is a mess.
Yeah?
So technically, it's known as a mess. It started out English, then it moved all over England. It went to Australia briefly, it came back to England, and for the last 2 years it's been in the middle of America.
Right.
So it's in the middle of an ocean somewhere.
So that makes up for your sinister little mind.
Exactly.
Yes. Neil är, som en del av er vet, ansvarig tillsammans med Alice Cooper för den nya skivan The Last Temptation of Alice Cooper. Han har också gjort serietidningen Sandman, som vi ska prata lite om. You're responsible for a lot of nightmares, I believe.
I hope so. If I'm doing my job, I am.
Yeah? Tell us a bit about the Sandman concept. This is a comic book that's pretty scary.
Sandman is pretty scary from time to time. It's not, except for maybe 1 or 2 times early on when I was still finding my feet. It's rarely sort of turn the page and go, ah! Because anybody can do that. What I try and do is have you read it and go, oh, that was interesting, and then wake up screaming 3 or 4 weeks later.
Right.
The Sandman is a comic about a person, a thing, who is in charge of all our dreams. He controls all our dreams. And it's a story that allows me just to go absolutely anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I've done stories about the dreams of cats, stories about Shakespeare, some stuff that was complete horror, serial killers. In fact, I did a story about a serial killer's convention.
Wow. And you have this death, which is symbolized by a little girl.
Yeah, that's actually, I have a death T-shirt on there. That's
a weird symbol of death?
Well, when I started out trying to figure out, I knew I was giving certain roles, certain jobs to a family. I created this family called the Endless, of whom the Sandman is Dream. And I thought, I've got to have death. And I stopped, and I thought, okay, who would I want to meet when I die? When I die, who do I want to have come over and say, well, you did all right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't want the skull face and the side.
Who wants to see that for an eternity?
Yeah, you want to be met by that when you've just been hit by that car?
No,
I wanted somebody nice.
Yeah.
So we created this very, very nice sort of impy, bright, perky 16. She's terminally perky.
Yeah.
And she's the one who turns up and says, you know, you really should have looked both ways before crossing that street.
Now you teamed up with Alice Cooper for his latest project.
It's true.
And was he the one to contact you? Or?
He contacted me. In fact, his old A&R man, who's now the head of Hollywood Records, Bob Pfeiffer, was actually the one who contacted me. Mm-hmm. And he said, I have an artist on my label who wants to do an album with a story. And he wants to know if you'll write the story. And I said, well, who is it? And he said, Alice Cooper.
And you went, oh my God!
No, I went, wow. And I went, cool. And I went, oh. The thing about Alice is a fictional character. Alice is a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Alice is so much larger than life. And he's one of the great horror icons of the 20th century. He's up there with Bela Lugosi's Dracula, or Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, or Jason, or Freddy.
Right.
Only Alice doesn't have a story. So the idea of actually going in and creating a story for the character.
So when you met him the first time, did you hit it off with him?
Oh, we had a great time. We sat in a hotel in Phoenix and just talked about bad Italian horror movies, what scared us, you know, just chatting about things. What was really strange was I met him the week Wayne's World came out, and I hadn't seen Wayne's World, hadn't heard of it. And I'm walking with Alice out of the hotel restaurant, going up to my room to sit and talk about the project. And these people see Alice. They run down the hall, and they throw themselves to their knees going, we are not worthy, we are not worthy. And I looked at him. You know, I thought, what is this? Is this some kind of cult in Phoenix of Alice worshippers? I mean, what happens here, Alice? And he just he looked at me, he said, don't worry, it happens all the time, you'll get used to it. And indeed, it happened every time I was with him in public.
I will do the same when he arrives shortly. We should go to the video just now and await the arrival of the great Dark Master in a while. Scorpions, här är woman. And the master has arrived, Alice Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Alice. Good to see you here on my couch again.
Hey.
Wasn't that? Oh, look at that. Swedish dude, eh?
100%.
Absolutely. Well, I can always
speak.
tell that you had Viking blood in your veins.
I know, I am a Viking.
There's no problem for you to wake up in the morning and rise and shine, is there? I mean, you sort of get the hang of it after 2 weeks on morning radio in Dallas.
I don't, not only that, but I mean now, you know, I don't really wake up till after 4 interviews. Well, I'm doing about 13 a day.
Yeah. So has your life changed now that you had to go up at 6 o'clock in the morning?
No, you know, that's like a bad dream to me now. That whole radio thing it was so long ago. It was about 2 weeks ago. This is much more civilized hours that you have right here. I like this better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is much better.
And I thought Alice was a creature of the night.
Yeah, 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning playing Sepultura at 6 in the morning and Nuclear Assault
at 8:30 to ring in and give away.
You're lucky I didn't pull you down there and make you go on the show every morning.
He pulled me down. I was on his show.
I just got to phone in. It was great. We you know, they gave away all these Sandman books to the first person who'd phone in, and the lines are ringing now. Yeah, and someone would say, sorry, wrong number. And, you know, it was to 5 people.
Yeah. I ran into Nuclear Assault on the way up.
Oh yeah,
the guy,
the biohazard guy. Yeah.
Hey, they're from New York, eh? They said, hey Alice, what you say? Give me 5, man.
Pretty cool.
It's great. It's like being home.
Yeah. So you got a new album coming out any minute now. Well, any day now, any week now, really.
It's
about a month to go. Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I almost know what it's about now. After doing all these interviews, I finally decided what it's about.
That's great. Otherwise, you have Neil here to help you out. So.
I have to ask you what certain songs are about. But
what is the whole thing about?
It's about temptation. Something that you wouldn't know anything about, because I know that you don't...
oh, I'm never tempted.
You don't succumb to any temptation. No. But the rest of us mortals do have temptations. And it's about temptations and how to cope with them, you know. And it's a story. It's a novelette, I guess.
Yeah.
A novelette. And Neil and I wrote the story. And then after we wrote the story, it's kind of a classic. It's sort of a Grimm's fairy tale of rock and roll, and because after you hear it, you realize that it's got a moral to it, but it had a great story, and in the end, it kind of leaves you hanging there. You know, it doesn't just sort of conclude. It leaves you hanging, and you have to think things out for yourself.
One of the journalists today who did an interview with me said that he'd played played the album about 3 weeks ago when he was first sent the tape, and then just since then, he's been thinking about all the stuff on the album, which I thought was really nice. He said it's taken up root.
Actually, I've been thinking, I can't even think of one single question to ask you anymore, because I've done too many interviews with you.
You know more about me than I do.
Absolutely. So why don't we let the viewers ask you some questions?
I'm right
Nu är
here.
det din tur att ringa till Alice Cooper. 612 95 95. Kasta på telefonen. De som kommer fram först får prata med the man right here. Och tekniken kan koppla in frågorna så fort de kommer här.
I dare you. I dare you.
Yeah, how about that? This could be fun stuff. This could be some tricky questions coming in a second.
We never wrote that song. We were going to write a song on the album called I Dare You. We never did that one.
No, we tried writing it about 6 times, and we never quite got it.
Wow.
There's certain songs that you keep trying to write and you just can't never get them.
Cool. I hear the phone ringing right now. So let's see if there's someone on the phone for you, Alice. Hallå, ja? Kan det vara rätt eller fel? Nej, det var ingen där än, men jag hör att det ringer ordentligt. You live in Arizona, right?
Yes.
And this seems to be like the new place for rock stars to live. Robert Halford lives there, Megadeth.
Yeah.
Black
a lot of people are getting out of. A lot of people are getting out of L.A. because they're pretty sure it's ready to fall in the ocean, and it's become like. You know when you see these really bad futuristic movies about what LA is like after the nuclear war, and it's all these roving bands of mutants.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it's like now.
Yeah,
it's really, it's actually just like that.
Buildings.
They're roving bands of mutants without the budget that the guys have in the movie.
Yeah,
So
right.
they don't have the class and the green hair.
Yeah.
Right, and they don't have the motorcycles with the spikes coming out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, what they do is they just take your car and do that.
What's the attraction with Arizona, though?
I think it's just the fact that I live there, basically. That draws most people.
You're like a magnet, Alice. Wonderful. We have a caller. Hello, yeah?
Hey, first I'd like to say, Alice, I love your music, and Neil, I love Sandman.
Thanks.
And I'd like to ask both of you a question. First, Alice, I heard there was a rumor that when they made billion-dollar babies, someone put money down in the diaper.
I never heard that.
And the other question was, Neil, do you think you could send me an autograph?
Do I? I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. We'll take
problem.
his autograph and send it to you. That's fine.
Actually, I'm so cheap, I still have that money that was down in the baby's diaper.
It was just a strange rumor I heard.
No, I have never heard that rumor, but that was actually $1 million in real money that was in that photograph. And we had to have like armed security guards with submachine guns. If you would have taken that camera back further and saw what was on either side, there were two guys there with submachine guns because it was Brinks, or I guess it was one of the big banks sent the money over, and they sent 2 armed guards with it.
Wow.
How do you go about getting hold of $1
Tack för att
million?
du ringde. Vi ska lämna plats åt andra som
We
ringer
had to go
också.
with the Brinks
Okay.
security system.
You ring them up and say, "Can I borrow $1 million?"
So I said, send me over some pocket change.
Didn't you have $1 million yourself at that time?
We had $1 million. I just said send over $1 million and keep the other $100 million there. You know.
Of course. There's many other stories like that. Budweiser filled up your pool with beer for your 25th birthday or something.
Well, they
like
might have done that, you know, and I wouldn't have remembered. I remember there's a big foam on top of this beer. I know one time that after about 10 years of drinking Budweiser, I had a blood test, and when they took it out, foam came out, about that much foam, and then a little blood came out.
that. We have another caller. Välkommen.
Hello.
Hejsan.
Hej, detta är Alex Helsingborg.
Yeah.
Hi Alice,
Hello.
you are the master. Thank you for about 30 years of great music.
Thank you.
You are still the master. And I gotta ask you, on the new tour,
Yeah.
will you have another stage show besides the throat cutting and guillotine and all that?
When this final show finally comes to stage, it will be a big production, and we haven't even sat down yet to put it on paper what it's going to be, because I've still got another 2 months of press around the world, and then I've got videos to finish, and then after that we're going to sit down and start figuring out what the stage show will be. But it'll be the same, I think pretty much the same order of the album, and probably very much like the comic book. It'll be in order, because the story is told in order, so it'll stay in order.
Okay. How about those old songs from Pretty's For You, like Levity Ball, Tootie Muller and those? Will you play those?
Boy, oh boy, maybe you should join the band, because you would know them better than we would.
Nah, I don't think so, because I can pick them out on guitar. They're too hard.
They're very hard. They're very hard.
Tack för att du ringde.
Okej.
Det är många som står i kö och vill prata
Okej.
med Alice. Först ska vi dock ta och titta på en liten video här med Alice. En riktig klassiker. Have you seen this one? Not even Brian has seen this one. This is Department of Youth.
Ah.
The spiders, and those come on easy. They go off easy.
Yeah, I think the way it's done now, it'll be a lot easier than it was yesterday.
Well, that's the hardest part about the whole thing is getting the thing on, off,
We've
off.
allowed all that time now, so you have plenty of time.
Now they'll just snap right on. Okay, well let's not worry about that. Let's do Department of Youth, because that's the one that we would have to go over.
Okay.
And we'll use the kids. We'll use the whole band, you know, the whole thing.
Good.
All right, let's do that. Okay, get the kids together and we'll do that. All right, let's do Department of Youth. All right. Okay.
We're in trouble all the time. You read about us all in the papers. We walk around and bump into walls. A blind delegation.
Department of Youth. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember that video.
No.
You know, we were so busy when we did that show that we did things like that every day. The rehearsal of that show was 3 or 4 months of rehearsal. Every day, 8 to 10 hours a day, to make sure that that show was working. And so, I mean, that's the first time I've seen that video.
Yeah. Well, there's always a first for everything.
You've got things that I'm afraid to know what you have. You may have things that'll be blackmail
You
me.
should check my basement, dude.
I know. And you know the guy that was on the far left?
Yeah.
Remember the movie West Side Story?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he played action. You know, he said easy action, and
Yeah.
he's the guy that always wanted to fight with the sharks.
That was he?
That was him. He was our choreographer, David Winters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Things I don't know also. There's a little trivia here. Du som just nu är i telefonen, du kanske har någon bra fråga?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, you hear me? Here we go.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
I hear you.
Yeah, we heard.
Wait a second.
Who is? Yeah, who's this?
Lines fall, facing hands. Lines fall from the ups and downs.
Okay, now try it sober.
I'm in the middle without any plans.
Pick a key.
It's really great, dude.
Hey, pick a key, and that'll be great. I love it.
I know. I'm just kind of nervous, man. No, I'm American. I've been living in Sweden for 8 years, and I've seen you twice in Lund. You know, down in Lund in the auditorium down there.
Yeah, sure.
And the first time your drummer or somebody threw out a towel, so I have a towel of from the drummer or somebody in the band. I don't really remember which one it was, but
Where are you from originally?
born in Colorado, lived in California, Texas, moved to Florida, met a Swedish girl.
And
so I came here.
so when they deported you, you
Yeah.
came here, right?
Vi måste lämna plats för ett samtal till, så att, sorry about that, dude. We gotta go to
Way to
another
go.
caller.
Nice,
Hey,
nice.
all
Good
right,
song.
guys.
Thanks for
Det var
calling.
en fin version där faktiskt
really
av
take-
I'm 18, one of those classics you love to sing still.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the ones I love to rehearse.
So when
I don't mind singing it. I don't want to rehearse it. That's
You
the
don't
thing.
have to rehearse it.
You'd be surprised when you get into the.
You can sleep
to doing
that,
the show.
sing that in your sleep, can't you?
Ja, I hope so.
Vi kanske har tid för ett sista samtal. Vem är det som är den sista som pratar med Alice Cooper ikväll?
Hallå?
Hallå, ja.
Ja, det är Stefan där från Uppsala.
Hejsan. Det är nog helt hållet.
I thought for sure he was going to sing a song.
Yep.
Go for it. Your question, please.
Yep. I wonder, Alice, when shall you play in Sweden next time?
When are we going to play?
Yeah?
Gee, we don't really have any dates yet. The album's not even out for another week or so, is it?
No.
2 weeks,
3
something like
weeks,
that?
maybe.
3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yep.
So it won't be for a while. It'll probably be a little while.
Yep. I have a question for you, too.
Okay.
Do you need some support band from Sweden?
Here we go.
Here comes the audition. What's the name of your band?
The band, it's called The Dogs Drunk. It's a really serious band.
Sounds just like the
Sounds
band you're looking
serious.
for, Alice,
Yeah.
to open up for you.
We play some kind of dirty rock and roll.
Uh-huh. Dog Grunt.
Have you heard?
A lot of ballads, huh?
Have you heard a band called The Cult?
Yes.
Some kind of that music.
Oh, that's neat.
Du
That's
får,
kind of 70s psychedelia.
Du får hålla tummarna för att det lyckas. Vi måste tyvärr avbryta här nu för vår sändningstid är slut. Tack för att du ringde. Alice, we're all out of time.
Do your parents know your name? The name of your band is Dogs Grunt?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. They're very understanding.
They like it.
That's
Neil, pleasure to have you here. Keep up the good work.
Anders, it's always nice
We
to
shall
be
now
here.
retire to a party.
I had you on our radio station. You had me on your TV show.
Yeah, so we're all even now.
We're even.
Here is Alice Cooper and, of course, Schools Out. God afton, vi ses.